In summer 2010, when I was walking by my favorite bookstore at 3 o'clock in the morning, my eyes were immediately caught by the title of a book and the yellow gleam behind the window. So I went there in the next morning, bought it, and read it. The book is probably not the best collection of essays I ever read, but the title has since then stayed with me. The moral obligation to be intelligent. What does this have to do with learning languages? Do speak foreign languages make you more intelligent? It depends. Is the ability to speak another language part of intelligence? Not necessary. But be intelligent and knowing for all languages do share one thing in common. They are both painful. And by painful, I don't mean the ennui of tediously long lectures, or vocabulary or grammatical studies, or the expense of the time for the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge. Nor even the loneliness your dedication to endeavor could bring up on you the soreness. The true torment is the confusion. For the bigger the circle of the knowledge, the greater the contact with the unknown, and the more firmly unlearned beliefs used to stand, the more helplessly your new identity totters. If you're lucky enough to study foresight, you may realize that not all beautiful poetry is written in your mother tongue language. The Persian epics written in Sasanian Empire are as beautiful as poems of the Tang Dynasty. If you happen to study Spanish, you may realize that what you thought so unique, an aspect of your culture has a similar counterpart in another culture. That the Puerto Rican morphia is also identical with the Korean Sunday. If Russian is your language, you may realize that not all the important battles that change the course of human history were fought in your native land. That the Russian defeat the Golden Horde at the field of Collicoyo is no less significant than the reconquest of Granada in Spain. Can you do this by reading history? One may ask. Yes, but history, written by whom and for whom? Because you see after learning language. If you care enough, part of you becomes member of the tribe to which language belong, and that cultural schizophrenia can be truly excruciating that pain. However, can be easily offset by the better chance of employment in your job market, or the simple pressures of being your friend at the dining table, with political intrigues and historical anecdotes play out in 5 different languages. Why then would anyone who not a crazy masochist want to learn a foreign language? Yes, to communicate with people. Yes, to travel to different places. Yes, to advance your career in globalized world. Yes, it's good for your brain. But more importantly, as potentially excruciating as it is for those curious enough to see the world as it is, and those brave enough to tear down the wind of bigotry instead of comfortably hidden behind a linguistic barrier and refusing to step forward and know your fellow human beings or even the so-called enemies. And by no means accusing those not fond of foreign language of being cowards. If anything, they have to be forever on the guard of the bigotries, the fatuity, and language barrier, and constantly seek more reliable source of information. Indeed, the pursuit of knowledge is almost by definition a source of macrosms, and language learning is no exception. But in such pain, and perhaps only in such pain, can we overcome misunderstanding, bridge culture and civilizations, and fight over peace and prosperity.